Most women have a retirement plan, a workout plan, a work plan, a family plan, maybe even a vacation plan, but no menopause plan. And if you don't have a plan, every symptom starts to feel like an emergency. The hot flashes, the belly fat, the sleepless nights, the mood swings, the brain fog, the cravings, the stress, it all feels like a crisis. So today on Midday Menopause, we're talking about how to create a menopause plan that actually helps you move through this season with more clarity, more confidence, and more power. So, what are we talking about today? Yes, we are talking about menopause and mood swings and all of the things. And so, before we start talking about all of that, hold on. I've got something going on here that I need to readjust. Bear with me 1 second because we've got a great talk for you today. And I want to get everything in my notes here. So what do you feel like your emergency is? What are you tired of? What symptoms are you having? Are you dealing with sleep or stress or brain fog or new energy, low energy? Let me know. And now, before we start talking about what plans are and our goals are, let's talk about a vision, because goals without a vision can become another to-do list. And I don't know about you, but most women I know don't need another to-do list. Your menopause plan shouldn't only be about your symptoms either. You want to ask yourself, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming in this next chapter of my life? So when we talk about a menopause vision, this vision is simply a clear picture of how you want to live in this season and beyond. It shouldn't only be about weight loss and hot flashes or mood swings, because that's all well and good and those things matter, but it's only a snapshot of what you're going through, and it's not who you are. So your vision is really about your life. So if you can, take out a piece of paper and write down the answers to these questions. What does the second half of my life look like? What does the second half of my life look like? How do I want to spend it? What's important to me now? What are my values? What kind of energy do I want to have in this next stage of my life? What relationships do I want to nurture? What kind of body do I want to live in? What does a life well lived look like for me? Now, I realize these questions are really thought-provoking and and some may even be, they may take time to answer. So if you're not in a space where you can answer them now, come back to this video and replay it, because getting through menopause is one thing, but deciding how you want to live while you're here, well, that requires a bit of introspection. And so our vision statement here's an example of a vision statement. It could be, my vision is to feel strong, energized, peaceful, and confident in my body so I can live fully, show up for the people I love, pursue the work that matters to me, and enjoy this next chapter without feeling constantly controlled by symptoms. Now, your vision statement could be complete. Well, it is going to be completely different from that, but that's an example. And because once you know where you're going in life, your daily choices start to make more sense. Now, when you having a vision is one thing, and you want to also be ready. So now you can have, now that you have your beautiful vision, you also want to ask yourself some practical questions. Like, you want to make sure that you're ready for this life, or this next part of your life, and the next part of your plan. So you're asking yourself, what am I ready, willing, and able to work on today? Not next year, not when life calms down, not when everybody stops needing you, not when everything is perfect, but today. Because the best menopause plan is the one you can actually follow. So you want to ask yourself, what am I ready to work on? What am I willing to work on? What am I able to work on with the life I actually have right now? Maybe you're ready to work on sleep, but you're not willing to give up scrolling in the bed at night. Maybe you want to work on your nutrition, but you're not able to cook complicated meals every day. Maybe you want to work on exercise more, but your knees, your hips, your schedule, or your energy level require you a smarter starting point, require you to have a different starting point. This is where the planning begins. So there's no shame, no shade, or no drama, just truth. Be honest with yourself, because this is between you and you. Now what we want to also, you want to focus on, what is an area that you are really ready to work on right now? Is it sleep, stress, meals, movement, mindset, or your medical numbers? You want to transition into SMART goals. And once you know what your vision is and you know what you're going to work on, then we can start using those SMART goals. And you know SMART, what SMART is, there's the specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And so because we're saying, I want to feel better, is real, but it's not specific enough to guide your behavior. And saying, I'm going to be healthy sounds great, but that doesn't actually mean, but what does that actually mean at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when you're tired, you're hungry, stressed, and standing in front of the refrigerator like it owes you money? Well, that's why we use SMART goals. And so the SMART goals for menopause, specific means you actually name what you're going to work on. Not, I need to be healthier, or I need to get healthier. It means I walk after lunch, or I add protein to my breakfast. I shut screens off 30 minutes before bed. I schedule my annual labs. I practice a 3-minute breathing reset when I feel stressed. Specific goals give your brain instructions. Now, what is M is measurable. And what does that mean? Measurable means that you can track it. Because if you can't measure it, you can't really know if it's actually changing. So some examples of measurable mean, I walk for 15 minutes. I drink 64 ounces of water. I eat 25 grams of fiber. I stretch and strength train twice this week. I track my sleep for 7 days. I write down my hot flashes for 1 week. I schedule my blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and kidney function checks. And attainable for A means the goal you set for your life is for your real life, not your fantasy life or the life that you would like to live. It's the life that you really have. So if you haven't exercised in 6 months, starting a 6-day a week workout may not be attainable. If you're exhausted or stressed and caregiving, working and cooking every single night from scratch, that may not be attainable. Attainable might look like I walk 10 minutes after lunch 3 days this week. I prep one protein option for the week. I go to bed 15 minutes earlier. I do one strength workout this week. One small doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you're building traction. So that your goals become measurable. And the R is relevant. Relevant means that the goals are connecting your menopause. They're connecting to your menopause vision. And this matters. If your vision is to have more energy, your goal might be to focus on sleep, meals, hydration, or movement. If your vision is to feel stronger, your goal might focus on strength training or protein. If your vision is to feel calmer, your goal might be to focus on your stress, breathing, boundaries, or reducing evening stimulation. If your vision is to age well, your goal might include knowing your numbers. What's your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your waist measurement, your bone density, your muscle mass, and your kidney function. Your goal should match the woman you say you want to become. And then the T is for time bound. So time bound means the goal has a deadline or a container of time. Not someday, not eventually, not when things calm down, but because let's be honest with ourselves. Sometimes things just won't calm down, or they don't calm down. And we have to create calm inside the life we already have. So what does this look like? Well, an example of this could be for the next 7 days, I walk for 10 minutes after lunch. This week, I add protein to my breakfast at least 4 days. Tonight, I turn off screens 30 minutes before bed. By Friday, I schedule my lab appointment. For the next 30 days, I track my hot flashes, my sleep, mood, and my energy. A timeline turns a wish into a plan. So, a SMART goal example for menopause, low energy, could be instead of I want more energy, for the next 7 days, I eat a protein-rich breakfast at least 5 mornings and track my energy before lunch. For belly fat, I want to lose belly fat might be your goal. And your plan should be for the next 4 weeks, I will strength train twice per week and walk 15 minutes after dinner 3 days per week. What about poor sleep? I need better sleep, you might say. And for the next 7 days, I will turn off my screens for 30 days before bed, or for 30 minutes before bed, and track my sleep quality in the morning. And you can do this very easily with your phone or if you have a tracker on and a watch that tracks your sleep. For stress, I need to calm down, you may say. And for your goal could be this week, I will practice a 3-minute breathing reset once a day before reacting to stress. And what about brain fog? If that's your goal, you might say, I need to focus. Well, your strategy could be for the next 5 days, I will write my top 3 priorities in the morning before checking messages. Your health numbers, you might be saying, I need to take better care of myself. But your goal can be, or your plan could be, by Friday, I will schedule my blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and an annual wellness check. Get it on my schedule. So now, I don't want to leave you here with all these 15 goals and that would just lead you to overwhelm, because who can do all of that? You don't want to just try to do everything at one time. You want to choose just one goal, one area, one next step, because a menopause plan does not have to be complicated to be powerful. It just has to be clear. So come back to this and write it out, stop the video, and really focus on what it is that you want to do and write it down and schedule it. So creating your one menopause goal could be, this is a sample of your formula. For the next blank, I will blank so that I can blank. So let me give you some examples. For the next 7 days, I will walk for 10 minutes after lunch so that I can support my energy and my mood. For the next 2 weeks, I will add protein to breakfast so I can reduce cravings and feel steadier during the day. For the next 30 days, I will track my sleep, hot flashes, mood, and energy so that I can understand my patterns. For the next week, I will practice saying no to one thing that drains my energy so that I can protect my peace and lower my stress. That's how you start building your plan. So now, let's put this, if you are, just take a few minutes to stop the video and write down what your plan of action is going to be, and then put it on your calendar. You spend way too much time of your life focused on taking care of others. I know. You take care of your family, your work, your clients, your community, everything. But menopause is a time to take care of yourself in a deeper, more intentional way. And this can be a most empowering time. You can look at the season as the next chapter that you get to write for your life. And no, you may not control every symptom, but you can honor your needs, your wants, your values, and your desires. You can stop reacting to menopause like it's an emergency and start leading yourself through it like a woman with wisdom, strategy, and power. And before you go, subscribe and make sure you're connected to me, because we're going to be building some simple, practical menopause plans around mindset, meals and movement, stress, sleep, energy, belly fat, and healthy aging. And remember, it's your life. Live it well. And I'll see you next time on Midday Menopause.